Okay, we will be waiting for 2 minutes before we start with today's webinar. Okay, so good evening everyone. I'm Rajushi Chatterjee, the chapter lead of Girlscript.Kolkata. I hope that all of you are doing great. I would like to welcome you all to our event, Getting Started with Competitive Programming by Tanmoyee Roy and Tanya Chhetri. Before we move on to that, let me introduce Girlscript to those who are joining us for the first time. Girlscript is the fastest growing tech community in India. It is a non-profit project brought to you by Girlscript Foundation to help beginners in technology. The main motto of Girlscript is not only to encourage gender equality in the technology sector, but also to help all beginners in technology who are overwhelmed about their career in technology at the starting phase of their education. If you want to know more about Girlscript, you can visit our website. Okay, before moving to the event, I want to share an opportunity with all of you here. If you are willing to join the Girlscript team, you can join as a campus hero for your campus. The link is given in the description box. Also, Girlscript Kolkata is currently looking for content writers, marketing managers, and video editors for our team. So, if you wish to join, kindly fill your details in the form, link to which is given in the description box. Make sure to stay till the end of the webinar because we are going to share an attendance come feedback form, and you need to mark your attendance in the form to get certificates. And those who haven't filled up the registration form can also fill up the form. Link is in the description box. And so now, without further ado, let's start the webinar. But before that, I would like to warmly welcome Tanmoyee and Tanya. Tanmoyee is a moderator at Girlscript Kolkata. She is currently pursuing BTech in information technology. She is an avid competitive programmer and loves Python. Tanya is a member of the code team at Girlscript Kolkata. She is currently pursuing BTech in computer science. She loves to code and solve challenging problems. I look forward to learning more through this webinar, and I believe that this will be a great learning opportunity to all of us. I would now call upon Tanmay and Tanya to take the stage.
Thank you for the great introduction, Rajeshi. Hello, guys. Welcome you all to today's webinar. So, I would like Tanya to also join me.
Hi guys, great to have you all here. It's really been motivating as this is my first session with all of you. And I hope that you learned something, many things today from today's session. And thank you for coming. So I guess we are starting now.
Yeah, let's head over to it.
Okay, just let me know if my screen is visible. Oh, okay. So the topic of today's session is getting started with competitive programming. So, can you guys let us know in the chat box that how many of you are familiar or already have started competitive programming? So, from my side, the basic definition, or you can call it the book's definition of competitive programming, is given in the slide. I'll read it once for you all. Competitive programming is a competitive mind sport which is held over a local network and internet where you are required to write a program as a solution to a given question with given specification known as constraints. And we'll be explaining each one of these in our following slides. So please stay tuned. In a simple language, we can say, what do you mean by competitive? When you compete with others in a simple language. In programming, I hope that we all are familiar with the word programming. So when these two words combine and when we compete with other contestants or learners from across the globe, across the states, across the country, then we call it as competitive programming. And of course, programming is something that is being done on a computer. And with the help of a network, we do this competitive programming. There are several platforms given on the right hand side of this slide. Please have a look. These are the few of the platforms which are used for competitive programmings. And through competitive programming, we have many career options open as well. For those who are a very beginner or haven't started yet, I would like to throw some light on the basic opportunities that we can get through competitive programming. Basically, when different platforms have different rating systems, and through this rating, there are many, many, many great opportunities that knock at your door. Some great companies like FANG, basically to be the full form of which is Facebook, Amazon, Google, etc. They hire on the basis straight away on the basis of your ranking on specific coding platforms. Secondly, when you compete on an online programming contest, you enhance your problem solving skill in a specific amount of time. That will also be covered in a later slide. Then second point is better algorithms should be used. You all must be familiar with the word algorithm if you are currently computer science students. Even if you are not, let me throw some light on it. Algorithm is basically a simple word or a computer science term that is used to describe specific steps that should be followed to solve a problem. One problem can be solved with many algorithms. I repeat, with many. Uh, and with all the algorithms, they have specific timing with which they can solve the problem with the given set of inputs, and we need to actually find out the optimal algorithm which can be used to solve the problem in the fastest possible way with least amount of time and memory constraint. Then the third point is you can also call the contestants of the competitive programming contest as sport programmers. I hope you are going to participate in one of those and you will also be called as sport programmers. Why should you do competitive programming? I have highlighted several of the benefits, like you get direct entry as well, but now I'm gonna go into in-depth benefits of competitive programming. For on the left side, there are technical benefits. On the right side, there are personality traits. I would like to elaborate on this first. These are some of the personality traits that not only is being enhanced when you are doing competitive programming. Actually, if going to the core, if you have some of these skills, these are the basic requirements in order to do competitive programming. Listen, if you are doing competitive programming or if you are starting with competitive programming, then don't be in an illusion that in a day or two you will achieve something very big and then you will stop learning and then you will sit back and relax. Oh, I've done this much, then why do I need to do extra? Competitive programming is something that you need to keep practicing on. If you leave, if you are inconsistent with competitive programming or inconsistent with your learning, you will lose your grip and for sure you will lose your edge too. First trait is competitiveness. When you're competing with your fellow mates or other contestants in a specific contest, and you really want to get a high rank, you need to perform better than others. And this is how you develop competitiveness. You may not have it at the beginning of starting your journey, but you will surely develop it after few months or few weeks. Then hard work, definitely hard work, because if you're not hardworking, then it's definitely going to slip away from your hands because it requires long hours of dedication in order to reach somewhere, at least recognizable stage of your competitive programming. Self confidence in a way that you are solving a question on your own without any help, that is some kind of a self accomplishment that I think it is. And that is how you develop self confidence. Persistence is something that you need to have before starting competitive programming, because if you are not persistent with a problem, suppose I am stuck with a problem now and I'm not able to solve it. I have given it 3 to 4 tries but I'm still stuck on it. Then even if I move on from that problem and go on to solve something else, I need to fall back on the same problem the next day, because the chances are very high that when you are sitting for an interview, the same question will be repeated and you will regret that why haven't I why haven't I gave it one more chance to solve. That's why you need the persistence to solve it again and again and again. Try new methods, learn something new, and even if I'm not able to do in a specific period of time, I would go and learn from someone else's solution as well. That is not cheating, by the way. That is learning and doing some modification and then coming back and scoring it. That is kind of a persistence is required in competitive programming. Analyzing and visualizing is other benefit that you are going to get by doing CP. Makes you think faster because there is specific time limit in contest. Not I'm not talking about the practice mode. In contest you need to think faster because there are long challenges as well, but there are specific coding contests which are held only for 1 or 2 hour or so, and you need to solve maximum number of problems with minimum number of tries in order to rank higher. So you will have to think faster, and if you have to do something that it automatically becomes a habit, then it helps you focus, and it's a very good method. I use it personally to help me focus before any kind of studying or mugging up doing any kind of mugging up. Then there are technical benefits. I have put star besides every benefit that are essential for the ones who are going for placements. And the other benefits are if who are pursuing CP for some other reasons as well. First, technical benefits involves problem solving skills. Obviously, if you are solving problem, then you follow a specific step by step approach. Even when you are learning to do competitive programming, you are following a specific approach that are, trade passed by everyone who have started before you. You first learn a language, then you learn the syntax, you learn the data structure, then you try solving the problems, then algorithms. Then again, you learn some more data structure, some more algorithm. You try to optimize it. There is a specific path you follow. These kind of problem solving skills can be applied in a real life too. And then second is coding questions and coding test. Basically, when you go for a placement, then there are two steps where you encounter coding problems. First, in the coding test, if you are lucky enough, then you might not have to sit for coding test because there are specific companies who don't take coding tests. But if you are, I would say, fortunate or unfortunate, both partially, then you would get coding question and coding test, and there are specific areas and sites which are referred in this case, and exactly the same questions are copied from their sites, specifically Geeks for Geeks. Exactly the same question comes in the coding test and the coding question interview questions as well. So these are some benefits that you can get from competitive programming, and practicing more and more question, and not just mugging up. Even if you're thinking you can mug up the concepts and spit it out during the interviewer will know that you have the mentality of not a learner but a mugger up kid, and they will definitely reject you because there are specific skills that are attached to these kind of practicing that are only shown in a kids who really practice and don't mug up. Researching and implementation, this is something that you develop when you're not able to solve a specific program. You research and then implement the new code. Then learn DSA. Obviously, this is basically DSA full form is data structure and algorithm. Learning DSA is the most important in terms of competitive programming. It is the most important in terms of learning and implementation as well. DSA is the most important in terms of getting into a product based company. They will definitely put more weightage to your DSA knowledge. Then comes optimization techniques. When you are not able to solve a particular question according to the given approach that you are using, you will obviously, from the above point that I have already mentioned, you will try to research and then implement, and then research and then implement. You will get to know that there are specific algorithms which are taking more time than the others. You will try to discard it, and that's how you will learn how to optimize your code, how to make it from o n square complexity to on. And the most important thing, the last point, is your resume stands out. Even if you have a great rank at for suppose I'm not doing any promotion, for suppose I have a 4-star rank in CodeSpeedy and I have put it on the resume, the recruiter is definitely gonna select me for the interview. Even in some cases, you get the direct call from the company as well, only by having such a great accomplishment in the field of competitive programming. So, do any of you have any questions? Or even if Tanmay likes to add something, she can.
Yeah, I would like to say that the most important thing in competitive programming is basically to strengthen your DSA, that is data structures and algorithm, as Tanya said. And in order to strengthen DSA, you need to keep on uh, practicing competitive programming. because once you start practicing, obviously you will get an exposure. I guess I should say much more exposure in this field of algorithms and data structure, and automatically it will strengthen your concepts. And secondly, it's like that while you will be practicing competitive coding, the most important thing will be you are not allowed to give up. You should not give up, because there will be time that uh, uh, like one day you will be able to solve 5 questions, 6 questions at a stretch, and the next day it will be like you are not able to solve even a single question. So don't get disheartened in that case, because I have also faced the same problem in my earlier days of competitive coding. So make sure that you don't get disheartened. You don't just stop practicing DSA. Just don't do that, and just be regular with competitive coding, because it will be the only way, not the only way, but it will be a plus point on your side, because it will automatically prepare you for the coding interviews, that is the technical round, wherein the your interviewer will be asking you questions on data structures, algorithms, or you will be given some code snippets, or a problem statement, and you will be asked to code. So you will be beneficial. And also great companies like Fang, that is a top 5, and other companies also, they have a different coding round uh, while the first phase of screening. So there also you will be benefited if you practice more and more. uh, yeah. And also another plus point is that uh, you will learn how to struggle with problems for longer duration of time without giving up. This uh, working under pressure is also important to learn for students, because you will be facing this problem in uh, let's say in your fourth year, or in your upcoming days in any company or something like that. So yeah, and rest of the points are covered by Tanya in her slide also. So we can head over to the next slide. Tanya, can you share the next slide?
You can start from the next slide, yeah, from the third
Yeah,
slide. Just give
yeah,
a
just
little elaboration.
share the slide.
Oh, okay, okay. Just
Yeah.
wait a second.
Hmm.
Is it visible?
Not yet. Just share the slide. Your screen is visible.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Go to the next one. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So next we come with how can you get started with competitive coding? Okay. So the first point says that learn a programming language. Yeah, definitely. A very common question that we all get is which language choose for competitive coding, or which language to choose for this company or that company's screen one testing. So there's a simple answer. You can choose any programming language, but yes, make sure that that programming language is an object oriented one, like C++, Java, or Python. You can also choose C, but that's not an object oriented one. But the companies prefer, like, not prefer, but they would like you to know at least one programming language which is object oriented. So you can code in C, there's no problem, but do make sure that you do learn one object oriented programming language, such as C++, Python, Java, anything. So language is not a barrier, not at all. So you can choose any language. Secondly, there's choose a platform. Okay. So for competitive coding, we have many platforms. Like there are really many platforms. You can choose any one of them. For example, there's CodeShare, there's HackerRank, there's HackerEarth, there's LeadCode, there's the famous Geek for Geeks. So you can choose any one of them. If you are a beginner, I would suggest that you can start with HackerRank or HackerEarth because both of them are beginner friendly, and then you can gradually advance yourself with other platforms such as LeadCode, CodeChef, Code Forces. So we will be elaborating that points in our next slides also, and we will be showing you different platforms and what are the benefits and um, demerits of the platforms. We will be showing you that. Okay, so next we are here with practice beginner level and learn data structure. Okay, so as we have told you in our previous slide also, that data structure and algorithm is the key point to learn competitive coding. You have to strengthen it because it's ultimately the algorithm which will, optimize and make your code efficient in order in cases of time complexity or space complexity, because in our constraints there are time complexity, there are space complexities, there are complexities with our not complexity, there are constraints on inputs which we need to keep in our mind, and accordingly we need to write our algorithm, and to write the algorithm we need to choose the proper data structure. So, yes, definitely we have to practice data structure and algorithm. And at first, we need to start with the beginner level. That is, we need to start with the easy questions, not just go with the the advanced ones or like that, or like after solving two three easy questions, when you get confidence that yeah, I can solve this, I just go to advanced one. No, I would rather suggest take time for a duration of 1 month. Practice the easy level questions. If you are really comfortable with those, then in the next month you can switch it off to the medium one, not to the hard one, because majority of the companies will be asking you questions based on that medium stack only. So you need to prepare yourself with the level of that medium questions. But yeah, definitely you need to practice the hard one also, because uh, no one can say what will be asked and what won't be. But make sure that after like 3 4 months you are able to solve medium level questions, at least in within half an hour you can solve a question like that. Just practice like that. Okay, so next we come to start practicing. uh, yeah Next we come to start participating in contests. Okay, so the platforms that we mentioned, these platforms also provide many competitions on a weekly basis, on monthly basis, or even yearly basis also. You can participate in those, like I can say CodeChef conducts many competitions, like long challenges, daily challenges. So you can participate in those and check your progress every day or a weekly basis, that how much you have progressed in your data structure algorithms, or how much you have progressed in this competitive field, where you stand in this world. So you can judge yourself, you can practice accordingly. There's nothing to be disheartened if you not score that much, but make sure you do practice. All right, and do participate in them. And apart from these platforms, there are many other organizations also. Even Girlscript also conducts many coding contests. So try to participate in as many as contests you can, because this gives you exposures also, and this helps you to helps you to practice uh, competitive coding. Then lastly, we need to proceed with algorithms, as we said earlier. Okay, now next we are having the competitive platforms. Yeah, the competitive platforms. Here we have many platforms. We have just jotted down few of them, like HackerRank, HackerEarth, LeadCode, CodeChef, CodeForces, Top Coders, AdCoders, etc. So we will be talking about each one of them, not each one, but we will be showing you four platforms. So let's start with HackerRank. I guess Tanya will be showing you the HackerRank platform.
So this is the main HackerRank platform, and basically, what this platform is best for is the curated problems, the section-wise divided problems. So you can see that there are skill-based interview preparation kit. There are specific curated problems that are exactly the questions that our recruiters are asking us on the placement day, and other types as well. Basically, it helps you to prepare for the interviews. Then there is problem solving, and there is specific language type problems as well. And apart from that, HackerRank also offers questions that are not straight from the core coding background, like artificial intelligence, SQL databases, and HackerRank also holds different certification programs that are absolutely free. You can get the certificates after completing it. This is the compete section where the contests, all the contests that are held or that is being held or coming up is being listed. So you can go and participate. And the one thing I love about HackerRank is its ranking system. This is very clear, and you don't need to do a special research on how this platform works. And it is very, as Tanmay mentioned, it's very beginner friendly. And I'll show you one example after Tanmay completes her platform tour, how this platform actually works. I have selected a special problem from this platform only. And now I guess Tanmay will talk about LeadCode, I guess. Am I right, Tanmay? Hello? Hello? Am I audible? I guess we lost our connection with her, and that's why I will continue. So, from my side, I'll introduce CodeChef. This is the platform that is really, really, really on everybody's mind. The reason for it will be shared with you in a short while. Just wait. Basically, it hosts three main types of contests: lunchtime, cook off, and long challenge. The long challenge is basically 10 days long, and it goes from the first month's first Friday to the next 10 days. And then comes the lunchtime, then the cook off. Cook off is basically the shortest one, with, I guess it's 2 hours. And with Code Chef, what I have learned is it holds many, 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 many different contests, and the level of checking that it does with its constraints and all is pretty high than the HackerRank. See, you can check out all the challenges or contests that are with the start and end date. See, you can go to the compete section and look for yourself that which are the contest and the criteria. Once you open it, see, you can see in the home page as well. There is no contest going on, I guess, till that is ongoing contest. Otherwise, it is visible in this section of this platform. And then there is a ranking system, there is DSA learning series, and one more thing that I would like to share. CodeShip has also started its own competitive programming tutorials, which is in partner with the Unacademy, and it is quite good. I have myself attended it. That's all for CodeShip. And for CodeShip, if you have any question, you can ask, and if you don't have, I will show you at the end by solving a question how this platform works. Is Tanmoyee back? I guess I'll carry on with my question then. So, do you have any questions till now of any uh, thing related to the content that we have shared with you? Any feedback? Anything? How
Hi.
long can it take minimum to have 5 stars? Siddhant Thakur, that totally depends on you. Definitely not one night, I would suggest, and definitely not 1 week. It takes more than that. It depends on your experience on coding. If you are very experienced coding and have done coding on different platforms, then it would be easier than the beginners to have 5 star rating, because the coding questions are more or less same. Only the checking differs, only the constraints differ, but 5 star is pretty good standard of coding. So you would require many things that you actually need to know. So I myself don't have 5 star. So I would say that if you are consistent, then maybe 6 months or even 1 year would take you to at least 3 to 4 star. 5 star is after that. If you are a beginner, if you're not a beginner, then I think you can figure out it with participating on one or two contests, how long will you take? If you're not a beginner, you definitely have an experience, and by that using that experience, you can figure it out too. That how long will it take? And for beginners, I have already told how long can it take. At least 6 to 1 year, 3 to 4 stars. Anurag Chatterjee, does the batches we secure in HackerRank matters? Yes, definitely it matters. Uh, Apart from CodeSpeedy, where the stars are really you can't compare the 5 batches of that you earned from HackerRank to 5 stars from that you earned from CodeSpeedy. Both have different levels of standard. But I would suggest if you have, you can secure 5 rank from HackerRank. That is the full rank actually. If that actually suggests that you have completed a particular series of course or curated problems, that suggests that you are consistent, that suggests that you have done some effort, definitely it matters. And you can put it on resume. It's important. Siddhant Thakur, I have C++ knowledge till file handling taught in 12th standard. Can I do it within next 3 months? What can you do within next 3 months? Please be clear. What do you want to do within next 3 months? 5 star or what?
I think he's referring to the 5 star.
5 star. Okay, no, no, not possible. I have completed my 12 3 years back and I know what level you may have as I'm thinking. No, 3 months is too short time for you to have 5 star. If you are given a drop and you sit on your chair doing 24 hours competitive programming, till then also it's quite impossible to reach that level within 3 months. You will be exhausted. I would suggest that give a little time because you need to learn. If you are file handling level, you will need to learn some new concepts, then apply, then learn, then apply, and this cycle goes on. You can't just sit and apply all the concepts that you currently are familiar with. That will not get you 5 star. And first and the foremost thing is the contest that you are participating in. Actually, that determines your ranking. And no platforms. I think you are talking about CodeSpeedy, and CodeSpeedy don't organize these many contests in 3 months. And definitely, if you are a beginner, it's quite impossible to get there in 3 months. Uh, which language is the best and easiest for CP? If you don't know any language, then I would suggest Python. And if you want to do some hard work, then I would suggest C++. There are reasons. Python is basically very beginner friendly and very easy to learn, and it handles big data types very easily. But the time complexity of Python is higher than C++, and C++ is more difficult to learn, but it is widely accepted in case of placements. If you are going for placements, that is then it is widely accepted, because in some companies you can't sit for placement by using Python. You will have to choose C++, Java, or any other options that are given by the company. So, according to my suggestion, it is totally dependent on you. Actually, start with both. Just learn the syntax. That is not a much big of a deal. Learn the syntax, start, and if you feel like you are comfortable with one of the two languages, just drop the other language and go on with the chosen one. Siddhant Thakur again. In one round, how we get points relative to others based on question solved. Which platform are you talking about? I guess you are still talking about code chef. So I'll give my answer related to that only. See, in CodeShip, what happens is CodeShip ranking is totally based on the constraints that you have taken into consider while solving your program. Secondly, the number of tries that you have given before solving that program. Suppose I and you are competing against each other, and I have solved that problem with two tries, one wrong and one right, and you have taken three wrongs and the fourth one to get it right, then definitely your rank will be lower, even if you have satisfied all the constraints like me, but you will still be lower in rank than me. So you need to solve, I have mentioned it in this slide as well, minimum number of tries with maximum results uh, is important to get higher rank. So is it clear, uh, Siddhant Thakur? If I will take it as a yes. So we have 10 minutes left till now. So I'll try to solve the problem on HackerRank or CodeChef. Just just write it on the chat box that which platform will you like to see first. And Tanmay is back. So, Tanmay, would you like to carry on with the platforms or should I go on to the question section?
Yeah, I'll just
There is one.
one.
Wait a second. There is one more question. EM has asked: is it
Yeah.
impossible to go for CP in third year? Is it too late, or should I give it a try? Can you answer it if you want to?
It's never too late to start CP, I should say. It's never too late because even I started my CP by the end of my second year. That is, you can think that it's third year only. So the thing is like it's never late because it will be better for you because by the time you are already prepared with your data structure and algorithm, you know all the concepts, you know the practical implementation with the basic code, such as the practical implementation of backtracking is a queen's problem, like that. You know the implementations also. So now if you start quickly, and if you do it on a regular basis, like 5 questions daily, you target a stack of 5 questions daily, and you keep practicing right on a regular basis. It's never too late, I should be saying. Keep practicing, keep participating in the contest as we have mentioned earlier, and just don't give up because there will be days that you will feel frustrated and all. Don't give up. Go for the next question, but do come back with the previous question which you did not you were unable to solve it. So it's not late according to me. It's not late.
Yeah, I guess Tanmay is very correct because I started my programming when I was in first year, second semester, but I left it when I was in
Okay.
third and fourth semester because I was not getting so much motivation or a group that would support me for competitive programming, and I left it. I dropped it. Then I picked it up in fifth end of the fifth semester, that is third year only, and I lost the track which I rigorously worked hard for the past 1 year. So the main thing is be consistent. If you are starting, just start with the mentality that you have to do it regularly. If you drop it, then you are again at level zero. Don't think that if you are at level 5 and you will drop it, and when you come back you will still be at the same level. You will definitely be derailed from your path. So Tanmay, would you like to go ahead with the question, or the platform that you you might feel comfortable in?
Yeah, I will go with the platform, but there's one more question,
Okay.
I think. Which one is more better to start with? Have you answered it, Tanya?
No, no. Actually, I have asked because there was some connection problem. So I asked which platform would you like to see first, with me doing the
Okay.
question. So since you are back, so we'll go with the platform, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So which
Yeah,
one
okay.
should I open? Lead code.
Okay. So
Oh,
let me.
okay.
Yeah, I'll be sharing mine. So just wait. Okay, so the screen is shared, I guess. Just let me know in the comments if it's shared. Uh, yeah, shared. Okay, so this is the LeadCode platform. This is the homepage of LeadCode. Okay. Before starting with anything, I would like to say LeadCode and Geek for Geeks. These two are very similar kind of platform and very, very, very useful for your competitive coding, or let's say for your coding interviews, because this is a platform which you can use it to its fullest, I must say, to its fullest, because this is a platform about which not many people know the features of this platform. And if you are like if you are a geek in competitive coding, and if you have watched many YouTube videos, then you have noticed people who work in Fang or who recommend to work in Fang, they always suggest you to practice questions from LeadCode, because LeadCode and Geek for Geeks are the platforms from where uh, not maximum of the time, but many of the times you will get direct questions from these kind of platforms. So let's head over to it. Okay, so here you can see that this chart, this pie chart, this shows that how many questions you have solved till date, like 1745. So, and this thing is like the test kind of thing. So there are weekly challenges going on, and which is known as January LeadCode Challenge. Every Sunday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. the challenges goes on, and you need to register and solve those questions. These are the competitions which we were talking about, that you need to uh, participate and keep on practicing. Okay, so let's head on to the feature number one, that is here, the topic by selection. You can select your questions according to the desired topic on which you want to practice the question. Like if we see here, this is basically the problem stacks given. Like these are the problems, but if you today you have revised let's say string. Okay, rather than opening each and every question and reading it and understanding it, you can just understanding whether it's a string or not, just go to the topic and the question of strings. So this will make your work easier. It's taking time to open. Yeah. Okay. Now here are the questions. These all are the questions which are based on string. Okay. Now the next thing is you can see that there's a zigzag format in the sorting order of the questions. Like not exactly a zigzag format, but it's on the number tag. It's according to the number tag. Now you can filter it out, like rather than searching from which are the easy questions, which are the medium questions, you can filter it out here by clicking on the difficulty. By clicking once, it will filter it out in the descending order, and again if you click it, it will arrange it in the ascending order of the difficulty level. Like it will start from the easy one. So now, and it has, you can see that it has automatically mapped and sorted the acceptance also. You can sort it uh, individually also, but when you sort the difficulty level, the acceptance level gets sorted by itself. So now you can see that this remove vowel from a string question, this is the most easiest one and the most accepted one. Like if like 90.5% of the students have submitted the solution and the solution has been accepted, like those solutions have passed all the test cases. So now you can go like that. Okay, so here's the sorting thing. Okay, now next we get back. Okay, okay, now here these companies, you can even filter out the question based on the question those have appeared in the in these companies paper or in these companies technical interview. So you can directly head over to them. Like if we click on Amazon, it will firstly ask you to take the premium account if you are not having. So like I am not having the premium account. If any one of you uh, pay for the premium account, so you can directly access the questions that have been asked in these companies. There are so many companies mentioned, so you can directly go with them. But it's actually not needed if you practice all these topics in a in an honest manner, I must say. Okay. Uh, and yeah, uh, here is the notification panel. So they will they have notified me that there's a weekly contest on 14th of January. So it has already taken place. So like they will keep on updating you about the contest, and they will even keep on mailing you about the contest. So it's not that you won't be knowing that which contest is coming up, and when it is coming up you will be notified. And even you can check it here also, daily challenges. On a regular basis they give you 5 to 6 questions, and you need to solve them within, I guess, 24 hours. And before solving these questions, you need to actually register according to the rules. You need to register. It's a free registration. Yeah, yeah, you need to read all the instructions and all, and then just participate. See, in week one there will be few questions that you need to uh, you know you need to go through them, and you need to solve them. So that's it with the LeadCode one. It's a very you beginner friendly as well as advanced friendly uh, platform, I must say, because majority of the people who are working in big companies, they suggest to practice through LeadCode. Okay. And another we are having, that's Hacker Earth. Mm, just wait a second. Yeah, and this is a Hacker Earth platform. Uh, Here also you will be able to solve the questions according to data structures and algorithms based on like if you want to solve questions on arrays, or if you want to solve questions on dynamic programming. So that, and apart from them, that you have a compete section wherein there are all the competitions mentioned which are taking place on this platform. So you can see that, and you can participate accordingly. Here's the leaderboard. You can check your progress also, and here's the practice one, uh, wherein you can practice. Yeah, here you can practice according to basic programming or data structure or algorithm or uh, problem solving. That's the mathematics. Apart from that, you have machine learning study material also. Uh, it's there's only machine learning present because that is the what to say, the hot cake that's brewing in the industry right now. It's in huge demand. It's in huge demand, and since machine learning is in huge demand, automatically Python comes into the action, because machine learning is implemented either through Python or through R. Now R is not that uh, you know not that user friendly, and not that popular also as much as Python is. So they have provided a study material in Python also. Okay, so the rest of the things you can check by yourself. So we can go back and ask Tanya to proceed with our next slide with the questions.
Now we will head over to the question. Uh, Basically, since we are running short on time, this is the very basic question. I'll read it once for you. Numerous the artist had two lists that were permutations of one another. He was very proud. Unfortunately, while transporting them from one exhibition to another, some numbers were lost out of the first list. Can you find the missing numbers? So basically, there are, as given in the question, there are two lists. Uh, who is carrying, with by whom it is being carried, that is not important. Basically, given in the question, there are two lists. Permutation of number is given, and the two lists, one of them is missing numbers, and we need to find that numbers as far as I have read in this question. Now there are, for example, it is given from the first list, suppose 725353. Then we, after the number went missing, this is the array 725353, while the original array is 72546353, the BRR1. And the number which meant missing is 46. So we need to find these missing numbers from the list one. Specific notes. These notes, when given in a question, we need to look them very carefully, because these are some points which are very necessary in order to solve the particular question. Just treat it as the specification of the problems. If a number occurs multiple times in the list, you must ensure that the frequency of that number at both lists is the same. And if it's not, then it is the missing number. You have to print all the missing number in ascending order. Print each missing number once, even if it's missing multiple times. The difference between maximum and minimum number in the second list is less than or equal to 100. As told by me in the above para, ARR1 is the array with missing number and BRR is the original array. This input is the format with which we need to accept our input. There is no need to keep the name of a variable same, but this is how our variable's data type or size should be. And oh, wait a second, there is a glitch. Yeah. There will be 4 lines of input. N will be the first line that will be carrying the size of the array ARR. The next line will be the elements. Third line will be the size of the second array, and fourth line will be the elements of second array. And the output. This is very important. In this section, it is given how the output format will be. If the outputs, suppose in a question we need to find even or odd number, whether a number is even or not. If it's even, then we need to print yes. If it's odd, it's no. Then if the output has given us to print yes with all the letters caps, and if we are doing it with small capital Y and small es, then also it is wrong. So this section is specifying how the output looks when it gets printed on the screen. Output of the missing number is ascending order separated by space. So there is no concept of next line, but there is space in between every output, every missing numbers in our case. These are some constraints. Constraints are basically given to minimize the test cases as much as possible and sometimes maximize it. These constraints are to be followed when we choose the data type of our variable, and these constraints, if not followed, then your answer goes out of the limit and it is not accepted in CodeSpeedy. Suppose this is the sample input output as given, and I'll be solving this problem in C++14. Basically, it's the updated version of C++ with many different function benefits compared to the previous one. And sample input is the first size of array is this 10. These are the elements. Second array with the original elements is this. We need to find the numbers that are missing from this list. That is the 10 size array. So our number is 204, 205, 206 in ascending order. So let's solve this. First, I'm going to change the any question. If you have any question with what I'm writing, what I am writing, just put it on in the chat box. Basically, I'm taking and one more term. When you are going through the constraints, sometimes if you take the full size array, it is more acceptable if you are going with the time complexity of on. So the first array, that is n. Next we are declaring a vector. What is a vector? Vector is basically a standard library that C++ offers, that is known as the container of an STL, which is similar an array, but you have several other functions given, such as find, search, pop, delete directly, that has less complexity than array, and that is why I prefer using STL. If you have any doubt, you can Google it. Where I'm taking the input of the first array. I have declared one element. It's totally your choice how you are going to take the input. First thing, I'm taking the input as an integer. I'm not storing it in an array. This, for your convenience, let's describe it as frequency 1. That will store the frequency of each element in present in array 1. I'm repeating, I'm not declaring any array for this solution, but I'll still be able to do it. X is the element that we have taken input. Let me do this for your reference from this. This is my n, and this is the value of x that I am taking from the user repeatedly, and the frequency is the number of same elements that I am finding in the list. Suppose 203 have the frequency will be the frequency will have the frequency of 2 because it is present 2 times in this list. That is what I'm going to store. At the index of 20203, we will have 2 by the end of this loop. This is how this loop is going to work. And we will again receive the size of the second array in the same variable because it doesn't matter. As you know that in C++ or any language, it overrides the original value. So basically it saves your space. It decreases your space. I'm using the same variable. You can use different also. There is no restriction given if you are satisfying the time and space constraints. Value next. This time, what I will be doing is, see, in the first loop that I have, let me comment for array frequency in this. Now what I'll be doing, this is I'm taking array as per question reference BRR as SERR. And so any suggestions? How will I solve this? Is anyone getting how what my approach is? In this, I'll just decrement the value of frequency that I have previous section of this program. What I'm doing is, firstly, I have taken input of this array, stored the frequency, and now I'm taking frequency of this array, and now I'm just subtracting the frequency array. Now this loop is for checking whether or not my element is missing. And yes, I have specified. I have specified the size of my frequency array, so I'll directly use that. Then I'll go if my frequency array is not equals to 0. If the frequency doesn't match, out the I. I means the index position. And if you remember that at the index, I am exactly storing the value of the element that I have taken as input. So there is not much of a hotspot here. I'll directly print the index value and as specified in the outputs. Hit the space bar and try to run it. Fingers crossed. Many times it doesn't. So there is error X was not declared in this scope. Okay. This is I. It's let's copy this input and let's see what's going. And this matches our answer. So this is how we are going to solve it. And we hit the submit. And this will submit our question. So any doubt regarding this approach, so you can shoot. If you have any doubt regarding this approach, you can shoot now. And one more thing I would like to share with you is When you have solved the problem, then basically what happens, all the subtasks given in this constraint plus CodeChef has inbuilt defined the subtask which is checked when you submit the program. Even if you have passed all the custom input thing, but you still get stuck and hear a distinct wrong answer, means you have not satisfied their borderline case, or there is any mistake in your logic which is not satisfying their large value or minimum value case. So you need to do your logic, develop a logic or build a logic that will be that can be applied in all the inputs in all these constraints. Basically, constraints are given for this purpose only. And I guess if there is no question, Tanmay can move ahead with her question.
Yeah, let's go with the next and the last question for today.
Yeah. Okay. So so you will be sharing some.
Yeah, okay. So we will be starting with the last question for today. That is the count good triplets, and it's from the LeadCode platform. And this is a very simple question. If you see, once you read it, you'll get to know. So rule number one, to read the question thoroughly. Okay, so let's do that. Given an array of integers ARR and three integers A, B, and C, you need to find the number of good triplets. A triplet is good if the following conditions are true. So basically, these things will be our constraints. So let's see the constraints. That's I has to be greater than equals to 0 and less than equals to j, and again j has to be less than k, and again k has to be less than the length of the array. And the absolute difference between the ith and jth uh, element of the array needs to be less than equals to a, and similarly the rest two needs to be less than equals to b and less than equals to c respectively. Okay, so just remember that these will be our constraints, and uh, constraints are something which will make you choose which algorithm to perform, because after all it's the algorithm which gonna uh, let you fight the TLE, that's the time limit exceed, which totally depends on the constraints. Okay, so and finally what we need to do is to return the number of good triplets. And now rule number two, that's checking the constraints which we have done. Okay, now next, rule number three, we need to see our sample input outputs. So let's see, array of this, A is given 7, B is given 2, C is given 3. Okay, and the output will be 4. And here's the explanation also. They have explained also how 4 is coming. So you can see that there are 4 triplets, that is 301. Let's check. 3 array 3 minus 0, it's less than equals to 7. Yes, it is. Then again 0 minus 1, it's less than equals to 2. Yes, it is. And again 3 minus 1 is less than equals to 3. Yes, it is. Similarly, you can check the rest of the 3 also. You'll get to know how the output 4 is coming. Okay, now here the constraints are mentioned also. That is, the length of the array should be greater than equals to 3 and less than equals to 100. And element the element should be less than equals to sorry, greater than equals to 0 and less than equals to 1000. And similarly, A, B, and C should be greater than equals to 0 and less than equals to 1000. Okay, so we can see that according to the constraints, we can say that the constraints are not that large also. So what we can do is we can go with a brute force approach. So in the brute force approach, what we can do is we can take a count variable, and then we can take a count variable and initialize it with 0, and then we can loop over with the three variables, that is a, b and c, and then check each and every absolute difference between the variables and store them. If it's satisfying the condition, we will increment the count variable, else we will keep looping it. Okay, so let's head over to it. So I'll take my count variable as answer, and let's initialize it with 0. I'm taking it as answer because I'm coding in Python, and in Python count is already an inbuilt function which counts the number of elements in an array. So I can't take the variable name as count, I need to take it as answer. Okay, I have taken it as answer. You can choose any other name. Okay, so let's start with the loops. So our first loop goes like this: for I in range length of the array. Okay, I have used ARR because in my question they have already mentioned it as ARR. They have already written it down, so I cannot choose anything else. Otherwise, I will be facing error. So let's go with the next loop. That is for G in range I plus 1 in position to length of the array, and again for okay, this should be changed. I'm sorry. For let's say k in range j plus 1 to length of array. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to check if the absolute abs is the inbuilt function for absolute in Python. Okay, so if the absolute value of array of I minus array of j is less than equals to a, and this we need to follow all the three conditions. So the next one, array of j minus array of a, it should be less than equals to b, and array of I minus array of the last one, it's k. Yeah, it has to be less than equals to c. So if this happens, what we'll do, we'll increment. What will increment? The count variable. That is the answer in our case. We'll increment that. Okay, else it will keep on looping, and finally we'll return the count variable as it has been asked in the question. Okay, so we are done with our code. Let's run it and check. Okay, so our answer got accepted, so let's just submit it and check once again. Okay, so it got submitted successfully, and you another plus point is that you can see the runtime and the memory usage of your algorithm, of your code. So in my case, the runtime is 724 ms faster than 31.15% of other Python submissions for this particular problem, while in case of memory usage, it is 14 MB less than 99.79% of Python 3 submissions. Okay, so you can check these. And this was a very simple question with a very simple and a brute force approach. So I guess there won't be any doubt regarding the question, but if there is, do let us know in the comments below. So if you guys have any questions, you can just write down in the comment section so that we can help you out.
Okay, Tanmay, there was a question that as a beginner, where should I start from practicing problems?
Okay, Anurag, I guess it was posted by Anurag Chatterjee. So, Anurag, I would suggest you to explore each and every platform, but if you think that it would take a lot of time, then I would suggest you start with HackerRank and HackerEarth at first, because they are very beginner friendly platforms. So you can go with them, or else you can just like you can try HackerRank for 1 week, then CodeShare for 1 week, then LeadCode for 1 week. Uh, then whichever you find more convenient, you can go with it. But I would suggest personally that first start with HackerRank, and uh, just keep in mind that after practicing HackerRank for 1 month or so, you head on to LeadCode or CodeShift. Like CodeShift, you can what to say? You can practice it for an advanced level, but I should say that first start with the HackerRank or HackerEarth.
So I guess there are no more questions as of. So thank you, Tanmay and Tanya, for this wonderful session. I hope this would be a great learning opportunity for all of us here. So with that, we conclude today. I will ask Shubhanil to share the link for the feedback form in the chat. So yeah, the link for the feedback form is shared in the chat. So people need to fill up the form to get the certificates. So with that, we conclude today. Once again, thank you, Tanmay and Tanya. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you.